Hi guys, so last time I covered a video on a crash course on homeschooling for beginning homeschoolers. You will have seen that the other week. Now this week is going to be about curriculum. That was my second most asked question with all these people that are looking into homeschooling right now. So that will be this video right here, but it would have gotten too long. And some people might feel like, why didn't I include that in the other video? Well, the other video got to be, over a half hour long just with the information I needed to give out to you. So the curriculum would have made it way too long. So I'm going to be breaking up things into different areas so the videos don't get hugely long. This video is not just going to be, it's not going to be about curriculum for all my kids because that would be too long and heavy. So this video itself is going to be about homeschooling your elementary school kids. That was my most asked other question is, what curriculum do you use for your elementary school kids? Third, fourth graders, first graders. So I got pretty many people asking me questions regarding those grades. So that's what I'm going to cover in today's video. I will cover in another future video coming up soon on homeschooling middle high schoolers, what you need to do for that, how to graduate your child. I don't have a graduated child yet, but I'm figuring it out now because my daughter is entering 9th grade. I have, I just have a bunch of ideas. I'm going to go into more detail on the curriculum. The curriculum right now today I'm going to cover is going to be very briefly just showing you what I use and why I like it. But in the future, I'm going to show more in detail each of these curriculum choices I had used in the past and, kind of give you a better idea of how to use it, what it looks like, and why I just really loved it. So here goes. I'm going to dive into it. But before I dive right into it, if you could just subscribe to my channel to see more homeschooling videos being put out over the next coming months. Lots of homeschooling videos. I'm also going to be putting out organizational videos and with my 5 kids. I had 5 kids, ages 14, 11, 8, 6, and 3. So, I had to learn a lot with organization. That's going to be coming out, and just other different videos as I, think of it. If you have any videos you would like to see, any questions you have, leave them in the comments below, and I'll try to add them into the videos I'm already going to come out with, or have a whole separate video for it. Also, make sure you hit the bell, because the bell will notify you when I come out with new videos. All right, so let's dive in. So like I said, one of the biggest questions I had was how to homeschool my elementary school kids. Here it goes. Things I used, things I loved through the years. I will show you what I love. Although as a homeschool mom, I'm always up to try new things, and you'll find as a homeschool mom, you're always like, oh, maybe there's even though I love this, maybe there's a better thing around the corner. So sometimes you try new things even when you love what you're doing. But here's what I did last year. This was for my 5th grade boy. I gave him this cursive book that I got on Amazon, handwriting practice. It was cursive with Bible verses because we are Christians in this house, and I like him to learn more Bible verses whenever he can. So it just has him practicing cursive while using Bible verses. And I really like this. I'll probably get it again when the next child needs to learn cursive. He is pretty excellent at cursive now. I might give him one more year of cursive. But yes, we like that book. It was called, like I said, Bible verses Cursive Practice Workbook by Marie Matthews. Got it on Amazon. I'm also going to just show you what else I used for my 5th grade child last year. Things are going to change for next year a little bit because he's entering middle school. Not much, but a little bit. We really love spelling UC. We've done it years now. This is I think our 3rd year doing it. The reason why I love it, and I'll go into it in more detail in another video just specifically for spelling UC. But the reason why I love it is because you'll see that they read this paragraph, and each day they read something, and it actually teaches them something. So it says, as a girl, Sally loved science. She also loved being outdoors and active. For years, Sally played tennis. She was very good, but it goes into a story, and it's either a history story or a science story. So right this year they're learning, for each book it covers something different. So for Cohen this year it covers American Spirit. So while he's doing spelling, he's also learning history or science, like little paragraphs of it. I don't know if you would count it as a history or science curriculum, but it's nice that they threw that in there. And he's highlighting chunks of vowel chunks and consonant chunks when he's doing it. So he's learning, like, it kind of reiterates it in their brain, because they read it, they highlight it, and then they write it. So you can use it as also, besides a spelling curriculum, you can use it as a handwriting curriculum. They don't really need handwriting when they're writing all this, except for if you're wanting a separate book like I did right here for cursive. Each week they read a different story. Each day it's the same story, so they're kind of reiterating that. And then at the end of the week, they're supposed to do it from memorization or have you read it off to them and they write it. And at the very end, it says, I spelled how many words correctly. I like that they focus on the positive, how many words they spell correctly and not incorrectly. And a lot of times it's like, 90 some words that they did correctly and only maybe 2 that are wrong. So then it makes them feel positive. So we really like, I don't know how many kids like spelling and really enjoy it. But I, as a mom, love it because you can use it as a combined handwriting spelling curriculum that also, like I said, adds in the science, the history lessons. This is, like I said, American Spirit. Next year he's going to be learning, I already have the book, Ancient Achievements. It goes to G. So he has one more book after next year. So he's learning Ancient Achievements. Here's Brody's first book. The first year they're learning poems. This is Jack and Jill, it's called, and it's all about learning poems. So every year it's something different, like I said. So we really love spelling, you see. We're keeping with it. We like it, and that's working for us. And the next thing we have for the elementary school kids is we love the Growing with Grammar system. I switched it one year to Easy Grammar, and my elementary kids didn't like it for whatever reason. Now my middle high schooler loves Easy Grammar. My middle high schooler loves Easy Grammar. The younger ones do not. So this you cannot get on Amazon or ChristianBooks.com like a lot of the other books, but you have to get this straight from jchrispublishing.com. But we really love the program, and like I said, I'll go into detail more in future videos of why we love the different curriculum. But it just, comes with a booklet that they read a lesson, just to not get too detailed, but it just kind of like they read a lesson a day and they read it out of here. And then it has this book that's the workbook that they work on. So this is his worksheets 1.2 for week 1, day 2. And he just answers the questions here. Underline the complete subject in each sentence. And it also has an answer key and a test that you can give. We just really like it. My son asked to go back to it, so that's what we did. It's initially what somebody else told me that they did and that they liked, and so I gravitated towards that. And son asked to go back to this, so that's what we did. They enjoy getting it's color rainbow themed on the outside. Every year is a different color, so on the outside they enjoy seeing what color are they this year. So this was the year of yellow. And as you can see, this is next year's that I had ordered, and it's green. So next year he'll be green. Now, the Growing with Grammar is something that I start my kids in, like, more so when they're in, like, 3rd grade. I don't really start them in grammar before that because I feel like in kindergarten, 1st and 2nd grade, you're really, like, pushing them to learn how to read well and learn how to write well. I feel like grammar doesn't, like, really come in there until, like, 3rd grade when they really grasp it enough. And I don't like to give my kids something that, where they feel overwhelmed. I rather wait and give it to them when they're ready. So grammar, I start when they're like about in 3rd grade, all the way up through 12th grade. So in the elementary years, this is what my kids get. Now every year, I give my kids in their booklet, in their work box, I give them a devotional. This I just happened to get at the thrift store. But, it doesn't have, you can research and get whatever devotional you want, but I just usually pick a devotional and each year put it in their book, their work box, so they can go through a devotional themselves. I get used to doing that. So that is another thing I do. Also another thing I've done year after year after year. I think I've done this 4 or 5 years now. I really love Evan Moore geography. I feel like it's important for kids to learn geography and get it drilled into their brain, where things are, how to read maps, and just know different things about maps. So I really like this for the elementary age. Now it only goes up to 6th grade. So if in the middle and high school years, it will change. Either they learn their geography in their history books, or you give them a different geography, because Evan Moore only goes up to 6th grade. So this, Cohen's on his last year. This is grade 6, but I usually start the kids in geography in 1st grade. That's what Evan Moore starts. Goes from grade 1 to grade 6. I'll just show you. It's a lot easier in the younger years. But you read this little lesson to them, or they read it themselves. Here's some vocabulary words. So here's whatever map. So it'll be different each week. So here is this week's map for him on the United States. Sometimes it will be a country and not the United States. And then the lessons are so easy, so simple, but yet effective. So here's Monday, there's 2 questions. Tuesday, 2 questions. Wednesday, so each day, 2 questions that they have to answer from the map. Or if you're like a lot of my kids, they just want to get it all done in one day. So they'll get it all done in one day, and then, or divide this page up one day, this page up another day, have their geography done in 1 or 2 days, and not have to think about it the rest of the week. But they do really like the geography. Even my son, who was in grade 2 last year, he just really loved, me sitting with him and looking at the maps. Here is another one. They're learning the 4 hemispheres. This is for an older kid, like I said. Here's grade 3 for Brody. And so this is what you'll get in 3rd grade, stuff like this. What is a globe? They're answering questions each day of what is a globe. And it goes over, the lesson is all about globes, that you have them look at. You read this, you have them do the map, and there's the questions. I know you can't see too well in this video up close, but like I said, I'm going to go over more curriculum choice I chose more up close. That is not today. For the younger kids, Cohen, going into 6th grade, he doesn't do Explode the Code, but my daughter who's going to 1st grade and my son who's going to 3rd, they do Explode the Code. We love Explode the Code. We feel like that it's really taught them how to read well. And for my son Cohen, he learned to read from Hooked on Phonics and also Bob books. Now Brody wasn't really learning from Hooked on Phonics. It just didn't seem to click as well with him. So we switched him to Explode the Code because we heard good things about it, and we would say it was a really excellent program. It really worked for him. That, along with the Bob books. I still love the Bob books that you can buy on Amazon. A lot of these other books that I'm showing you, I buy from christianbooks.com. It's usually cheaper than buying them on Amazon. So make sure you look over Christian Books. But before you order them on Christian Books, just make sure that because a lot of times they have special deals where you type in a code. Just make sure that there's no special deals going, that you could type in a code at the end before you hit order. Explode the Code. So you'll notice this is for grade 1. So it just takes them through. So here is bag. They have to write it down. They have to find the picture of a bag and circle it. They have to they have to look at it, read it, write it, circle it. So it just kind of reiterates, I don't know, it just seemed to really work for Brody. They even have to find the matching word here. They have to read that. It says pan. And find the word here that matches that. Here they, like I said, have to write it themselves again. So when you're first starting in Explode the Code, I think they might have a test you can take online to see where your child falls as far as what book to order. But if they don't even read yet, you want to start them off not in book 1. You want to start them off there's A, B, C. And so that's what it is. They're learning their ABCs. So you start them off in the ABC books. Ready, Set, Go, ABC. And once they get through the A and B and C books, then you move them to book 1. And you can either go from book 1 to book 2, or you can jump to book 1.5. They have half books if you want to reiterate more to them. It just has more of what they maybe learned in 1 before they jump to 2. So that you might want to think about going to the half ones. We strongly suggest it. We think it's great for elementary kids. Another thing I enjoyed last year with my son Brody, who is the 2nd grader going into 3rd grade, is this book. You can get it online. I don't think you can get it on Christian books. I think you have to actually look for their website. But it's called 50 States Under God for Young Learners by Joy Dean. Each day, there's Brody. I always put their names on it so they know which one is theirs with a label. I like to label things because I'm the oldest. You will notice, like, say here he's going through Delaware. Or no, I'm going to do Pennsylvania since we live in Pennsylvania. So we went through Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania became a state and he has to write the date. He takes out stuff out of the back. We're still working on this book. So in the very back of the book, you'll find things you cut out. So you cut out the city. I don't know if you can see that. And you cut out these different flags and flowers and birds of the state. So you'll cut those out, glue them down. And of course, like when kids are that little, they love cutting and gluing. The Pennsylvania state tree is the hemlock. There it is. The state flower of Pennsylvania is the mountain laurel. So then they glue that down. And then you color in the neighboring states and talk about the neighboring states. And then more about Pennsylvania. It has something that you learn about Pennsylvania. You glue down the flag and the seal. And, they have like a little bit of information about like some kind of history for each state. And so that's what we are going through with him so he learns his states more. And I found I really enjoyed that. I'll probably do it again for Kellyanna eventually when we get through this with him. So another thing I learned about from a friend that most people in the YouTube world don't talk about, I never really heard about it, but I love, is Shepard. It's a Christian company again, and they teach science. And I think in the elementary years, I love the introductory to science curriculum. So you'll have this workbook right here, and they have a level A, and that's for more like really young elementary, and level B, which is like older elementary, like 4th, 5th, 6th grade. So what you do is you're going to be buying the online videos that they have, and you could pull it up from any computer, anywhere, or a tablet, and you can access it. And it has these little 5-minute videos that you watch each day and answer in your workbook after you're done those videos. Day 1. So they'll do this. So then you'll notice day 2. Then there's a couple questions for day 2. And again, it will be a little harder for the older kids. And there's an activity. Day 3, some questions. And there's a puzzle. Day 4, there's some questions. Day 5, some questions. So that's just kind of like a little, then it starts over for the week. There's always like an activity that you can choose to do. You don't have to do it, but it just reiterates what they learned in a fun way. So there's an activity at the very end of the week. And what you can do is just, watch the 5-minute video clips each day, answer that 1 page of work, be done for science for the day. Or you can do like my kids often did, and they would watch like all 5-minute videos they can spend like 20 minutes watching all the videos all in one day and answering all the questions and doing all the puzzles all in one day, so they can just be done for science for the week. Or they split it up into 2 days and did half of the days one day and half the other day, so that they only were doing science 1 or 2 days out of the week instead of little increments a bunch of times during the week. That's what you can do for Science Shepherd. I love Science Shepherd. I love the Science Shepherd. I feel like Introductory to Science, their Introductory to Science video covers all the stuff that you need to learn in elementary years for, to show your school district what they learned. They have to like have a knowledge of a little bit of everything for science, which that covers. So what I did the one year was I had Cohen do level A a couple years ago, and then now this year I skipped a year and gave him something else. Now this year I gave him Introductory to Science again, level B, and then put my other son in level A, and they worked on it together. And my older son kind of helped my younger son with it. They kind of lose information as they learned it, so he was learning things all over again by going through it again. It just does a good job of covering what they need over the younger years. Now, Science Shepherd is a newer company, and they do have other videos in the middle and high school year. They do have other curriculum in the middle and high school years. Not all of it comes on video yet. Some of it they just have on the workbooks. I only like the actual curriculum that they have on their sites that actually has the video with it, because I feel like the kids, really like the videos. So not all of them have the videos, so you might want to double check on that when you're picking, but Introductory to Science does, and we really enjoy it. So that is what they did for science in the elementary years. And the only other thing I want to cover is Ctc Math. That's what we do for math. We used to do teaching textbooks, and we used to like it. And we used to, in a prior Jewel for Real video, before I switched my channel to Highway to Momsville, I, raved about teaching textbooks. But for my older kids, it started to not really work, and they started to be more confused and hate math. So, and we're saying I don't want to do it anymore. So, I didn't like math when I was younger either, but they just were really complaining. So I was less scrambling and just thinking, oh my word, okay, I guess I got to figure out a new math for them, even though we thought we loved teaching textbooks. So I asked around, and a couple people told me about Ctc Math. So I checked it out, and and we've done it the past year, and it is amazing. We love it. It meets all the requirements we need for what we need it for. So it's an online math, and it's a one-time fee once a year that you pay for no matter how many members are in your family. I think it's like $150 a year, and so if you have a bigger family, it's more worth it. So what happens is they watch this video, which I will show more detail in another video, is they watch it, and I'll actually show them doing it in another video. They watch the video, then they do the questions. And you as a teacher can set what grade is a passing grade. And it won't then if they don't pass it, they'll have to, attempt to do it again. You can set how many attempts you want them to attempt to do it. I like that because a lot of times they get competitive and they want the higher grade. So each time they do it, it will go take what they're doing from what the grade they got from another one and average it out. So each time they do it, they'll get a little higher. So, but then it reiterates as they're doing the lesson a couple times. If they didn't get a good enough grade the first time, then as they do it as a second or a third attempt, then they're learning more. It's being more reiterated in their brain. What I also like is in the younger grades that are having trouble reading, is the questions will come with a audio button that you can click, and it will read off the question to them, so that they will know what the question is if they can't read all the words. It has a teacher option that you put in your email address and all the stuff that they're doing for the week. If they earned a certificate, you'll be sent the certificate. If you, it will tell that you each week how many, it will just come up with an email for all your kids that you set up in the program, and it will let them know how many lessons they did, what grades they're getting, And so it kind of like, as a mom, you can get busy and things can fall through the cracks. And I just like that they send you an email and that they, to try to keep you in the loop of what's going on with them. There has been times I haven't clicked open the email, and that's my own fault. But I really like that they give that option that, kind of reminds you to keep looking and keep, seeing what they're working on and how you can help them. And the other aspect I like about it is that for teaching textbooks, you had to get the workbook if you wanted to tear out the pages and put it and show the evaluator at the end of the year what you worked on with them. There was no files like Ctc Math. Ctc Math provides files to you that you can print out their certificate. You can print out different files that they've worked on throughout the year and show progress throughout the year. It's just these digital files. It just really is great to be able to add to the portfolios throughout the year without having the expense of a whole extra workbook like you had to for teaching textbooks. The only other thing for math besides Ctc Math for my family is when they're really in the younger years, in the older elementary years, I do not give them any workbooks. I just have them do Ctc Math. But in the younger years, I feel like it's good to have a couple workbooks just to kind of work on, to reiterate. And I love the Cumin books for workbooks for them. This is something from my younger daughter, Numbers and Games 1 through 70. But for my son, who was in 2nd grade last year, I gave him time books. And I gave all about time, and also another one that's all about money. So I feel like time and money are very good for them to learn in the younger years, and they're covering it in Ctc Math. It's not that they're not, but I just like to reiterate it to them to make sure they're learning, like sit down with them and have those workbooks that we kind of go through together. Obviously, they're not that thick and they don't take that long. So I'd like to give them the Cumin books. And I find that, these particular workbooks are they really cover things well and are really easy. All right, guys, that covers elementary curriculum. Besides that, I just, I throw in field trips. We are a part of a homeschool art class down the street from us. We, besides the homeschool art class down the street, they also utilize Art Hub for Kids. My elementary school kids love Art Hub for Kids on YouTube. I highly suggest that. We really utilize YouTube. And we're a part of a homeschool co-op. They get things, they learn things there and do a gym class there. Look into your local area to see what homeschool, I'm sure there's some homeschool co-ops around the area, or Facebook pages you could join. Besides that, I just throw in different DVDs and games, like fun educational stuff throughout the year, which I'll cover in a different video that will be, we'll cover like any like fun educational stuff that I throw in that's not a curriculum for younger kids, and I'll have that, like I said, in a separate video. I hope this was useful to you, and you found it interesting. Leave any questions, like I said, in the comments below. And thank you for joining Highway to Momsville. And I'll see you guys next week for another homeschool video. Anyway, guys, take care. See ya.